It's interesting to hear Dr. David Kano Sai. He sure has gotten around because he spent an enormous amount of his own time and cellular energy, his ATP Krebs cycle, doing research on international relations, inter-star nation, intercellular, intracellular, and how maps operate, consciousness maps, the map read. And he was trying to give an example of how Hawaii, for example, was considered an independent state of consciousness. An independent state of consciousness. Like an interstellar state of consciousness. Like an intercellular, the inner Eartha, the Nomi Noble Planet Code state of consciousness. The first core CPU. The power of Starship. An eternal core. The first inner core of the first cell. Experiencing pure fire, which is pure firelight joined as one. So you see how that works with mapping systems, right? Which is mapping maps, which are consciousness maps, which are consciousness traps. So he talked about how, for example, in Palestine, so I remember when you go back in time and you pull up an old map, say from what was it? I believe it was 1948 to 1912, on how the reversal spiral 10 code operates, a consciousness map, a consciousness field, a phantom time field, the illusion. When they were dividing up the maps as it relates to full spectrum military hierarchical dominance over the map. The consciousness map, which is the consciousness field, which is the morphogenetic field structure of cellular coded universal galactic planetary memory banks. Now we're into the original map, the first geographer, geomagnetic amplifiers. And so he was referring to Palestine. So I remember looking at the map grid, how they had divided up units of consciousness that could occupy, or units of consciousness that this is your boundary. Oh, the boundary between the height and width, the mathematical speed ratios of vertical and horizontal lines, the center point of the first cell, oh, the first atom cell, the first atmosphere, the first weather station. And so remember when, Lyndon Baines Johnson talked about that. He who controls the weather controls the world. The world of consciousness maps. The full spectrum dominance, yeah. And so he was talking about how Palestine, right? And what's going on right now with Palestine, right? They're fighting over control of what? Consciousness maps as consciousness traps. How it relates to being binded or bound to a particular height and width ratio, mathematical ratio of units of consciousness that are experiencing themselves, their inner selves, as maps. The boundaries. Right? And so I know it's not funny. So they're fighting over units of energy. Who's going to control the map? Right? The map grid, the dark flower grids. Yep. The black and red, the D1, the red pulse wave, imploding maps, and how they work, how they change the maps, which are the layers, cutting through all the layers, right? All their network layers, right? As that relates to cellular coded false light memories, and how that relates to knowing the first memory recorder, the first library, the first master librarian, the first spiral, the first map, the first mapper, the first map builder, the first star map builder, Star Trek navigators, navigating star maps, mapping systems. Yeah. Experiencing being free, free to go wherever you want to go. Emerald go green. Experiencing eternal peace, eternal flame of Adama Amaray everywhere we go. Yeah. Have a beautiful day.